Diff Awards one recipient with the Lifetime Achievement Award. After 50 years of starring in incredible movies and TV shows, it came as no surprise that this year's honoree was the one and only Martin Sheen.
And I was lucky enough to meet up with a screen icon to learn about his most rewarding experiences, what goals he'd still like to achieve, and what it's been like working alongside his family. Congratulations on your Diff Lifetime Achievement Award. Your career has spanned over 5 decades, over 80 films. When you when you look back, what do you think was your most valuable experience?
Oh God, it's hard to separate any one part from another. You know, in fact, the purpose I think is to try and stay united. You know, and not dwell in the past too much or look too far in the future, but to really stay in the present. So sometimes it's hard to look at the image of myself when I still had brown hair and I was a few pounds lighter. I prefer to see the image that I see when I look in the mirror every day, which is pretty much how I look now.
Well, I always wonder about that with a remarkable career like yours. When you look to future projects, what are you actually looking for? Is there a specific role you haven't done yet? Is there even one goal you haven't achieved yet? Because you have nothing left to prove,
no,
right?
but when you get to be my age, let's face it, you know, the offers are greatly diminished. And so you don't get to carry a film much anymore. I was lucky enough to have a nice part in the last Spider-Man, you know. Again, it's an older guy. And this summer I was in a film called Trash, you know, with Stephen Daltrey, the director, and it was very gratifying. I played a missionary priest in this third world country, helping these boys who lived on a trash heap, you know. But in 2010, I did a film that I'm immensely proud of, and I think it's the best thing I've ever done, and it's the most gratifying. It's a film called The Way, which I did with my son Emilio, who wrote it and directed it.
You should fly with me. Come on, a father-son trip. It'll be fun.
Yeah, right. You know, most people don't have the luxury of just picking up and leaving it all behind, Daniel.
We agreed that if I let you take me to the airport, you wouldn't lecture me about how I'm ruining my life.
I lied.
And that was written for me, you know, written for a 70-year-old guy who has an estranged relationship with his son and goes through a pilgrimage that produces a transcendent experience, so that it was deeply personal to me and extremely gratifying. I've never done anything in my life that I was more pleased to be a part of, or more pleased with the response that it's gotten. So many people have been moved by it and have actually made the pilgrimage because they saw the film. You know, they were inspired.
People have walked the path for over 1,000 years. The way is a very personal journey, Mr. Avery.
Daniel was my only child. We're gonna walk the Camino to Santiago, both of us.
Come. This is the way.
You brought up your son, and I have to ask, you know, I know your father wasn't exactly encouraging of you being an actor, and you have 4 kids, and all 4 of them have become actors. Is that something you encouraged, or is it something that just sort of happened on its own?
That's my fault. No, I never held it against my dad that he didn't want me to be an actor. If I was him looking at me back then, I wouldn't have wanted me to be an actor either. My dad taught me the importance of leading an honest life, whether you're an actor or a painter or a machinist or a cab driver. It didn't matter. His whole thrust was to lead an honest life, and so that's his legacy in my life. And my children came, and I think that they became actors in spite of me. I remember I was doing a show one time, and I thought Emilio was visiting me on the set. He was in the cast, and I didn't know it till he got there. And I'm thinking, wow, it kind of happened when my back was turned. It kind of happened when I was over here doing something. I looked around and said, oh, for heaven's sake, you're a movie star now. Isn't that even interesting, you know? But particularly with Charlie and Emilio, they came to it on their own, and they pursued it on their own, you know. Ramon also is a very, very good actor, but he decided to go into the production business. So he and Charlie have a production company now. And Renee is a writer. She started out as an actor, but she's become a writer, and a very good one as well. So yeah, we're all in on it now.
Well, it's amazing because you've also done quite a bit of work with your sons. And is that weird when one of them is directing you?
No, it's the most fun.
Oh, they get to whip you into shape,
they
tell you
get to
off?
beat me up a bit, get back at me. But it's a chance for us to celebrate each other and what we do for a living. And it's the most gratifying thing to do is work with your children. At least it is for me. You know, it doesn't get any better than that. And as I say, we made the way, which is for me. If I wanted to, if I went into a strange community and they said, "What do you do for a living?" I'd say, "Here, watch this film called The Way." That's what I do. You know.
Well, congratulations again for your
Thank
gift
you.
lifetime achievement. It was such a pleasure meeting you. And can we wrap this up with your famous quote? When you wrap up a meeting from the West Wing, what do you say?
What's next?
Perfect. Thanks again.
That is what he says all the time.
I know.
What's next?